everybody, this is Cathy here from Whole Home and Body Health, and today I have a quick video for you about staying in a hotel. As you can see, I am in a hotel in Eugene, Oregon. I didn't really have a choice here. Whenever I am on the road, I usually never stay in a hotel. I sleep in my vehicle, which is much better, much safer for many reasons. But I am actually on my employer's schedule. I do preservation work in the summers for a nonprofit. I had to drive all the way down to Joshua Tree National Park with their truck and trailer and drive all the way back. I'm in Eugene now, so I'm kind of on their schedule. I don't have my normal vehicle like I usually would, so I had to get a hotel for the night. So what's the problem with hotels, you ask? Well, there's numerous problems when it comes to air quality and EMF exposure. The same applies for Airbnbs. I did another video on Airbnbs and some of the crazy things I found in the last one I stayed at. I'll put a link to that below so you can check it out. But really, the same principles apply for a hotel or any type of lodging that is not your own home. So I'm going to turn the video around and show you what I found. Okay, here is the hotel. Nothing fancy. But, you know, my employer's paying for this, so I had to stay under a certain budget. When I got to town, I drove around for probably a good hour, looking at the outside of buildings, trying to figure out what looked safe. I'm always typically looking for signs of water damage, as well as any cell antennas in the area, and it is incredibly difficult to find a place that doesn't have either of those. Now, this one looked relatively okay, and it was within the price range. Now, if I wanted to spend $300 a night on a hotel, I might be able to do better, but not necessarily. In fact, that might not mean anything. Okay, so the room itself is nice. I just haven't made the bed because I'm checking out, so don't judge me on that. But yeah, the room looks relatively nice. Decent enough for one night of sleeping. But of course, what I want to know is what's the EMF, right? So I brought my little Coronet meter with me. I did not bring my professional meters this time because I just didn't have the space. I had to fly, pick up a rig, and camp for a couple weeks, so I just didn't have the space for that. So I did bring my Coronet though, which is a good meter for the price. You know, it's not nearly as sensitive and accurate as my professional meters or the Safe and Sound Pro 2, but it helps me identify what's going on and where the sources might be. So when I turn this on to the radio frequency levels, and I'm getting about, you know, between 100 and 200 microwatts per square meter. I realize the lighting's not great on that. That's not, I mean, that's definitely higher than I want, but it's not the end of the world. It could be much, much higher. Now, the light went out, so I'm redoing it here. Now, here's what you should know. When I got here, the levels were in the thousands, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. And so immediately what I did was I went around and unplugged everything I could find. So there's stuff plugged in behind the bed. I unplugged it. I unplugged all this stuff. There's an alarm clock over there. I stayed in a hotel a couple nights ago and the alarm clock had Bluetooth. So I unplugged that, I unplugged everything over there, I unplugged the TV. And there's a bunch of stuff plugged in, if you can see that, back behind the TV. And the numbers didn't go down. And I thought, what the heck, where's this coming from? And I'm looking and I'm looking and I'm looking. And then bingo, that's the router right there. And so I thought, okay, I'll just unplug the router. But I can't. So it looks like the cord of the router is coming down this little sleeve here, and it's going all the way to the floor, and then it's actually going to the next room. So I could not unplug it. I tried to get this off, but I couldn't, and I didn't want to break it. So thankfully, very thankfully, I have this shielding cloth that I travel with all the time. So I put that shielding cloth up there, and it dropped it by about 90%, my exposure. So thank goodness I had that. So now, you know, 100, 200 microwatts per square meter, again, higher than we want. The number that we really want is 10, but I cut it down by 90%, so I'm cool with that. Okay, So I took care of that. Now I'm thinking it's pretty damp in here. You know, it's Eugene, it's been raining. So I opened that window to get some airflow, and I thought, oh great, here's another window. Let me come open it so I can get some cross ventilation going. And there's a river outside and a nice big old tree. And, oh, what's this? Mold in the window frame. That sucks. Okay. It's all over there. It's just not surprised me. There's this big water source out here. There's this river, you know, does that ever overflow its bank? I don't know, maybe. The outside of it, I could not see the back when I walked in, but I did walk across the river this morning, and I looked over the backside, and it does not look good. Various signs of water damage, so that's not good. And then there's some other stuff going on in the shower. There's clearly some grout that's failing underneath there, and there's some signs of water staining back in here, so that's also really unfortunate. And so those are the risks when you stay in a hotel, an Airbnb, a family member's house, a friend's house, whatever. You just don't know. You don't have control over the space. Now, thankfully, there are some things I could do, like the shielding cloth and keeping the window open and keeping the curtains closed. I'm only here for a night, so it's going to have to work for tonight. Now, I have been in some situations like this where I booked a room, everything looked okay. I got in the room and it was crazy. The chemical smell was nuts. You know, the mold was very clear, and so I just went and slept in the truck. You know, I've done that actually a couple times on this trip, and that's fine. At least I could get a shower. I had to catch up on some emails, and then I slept in the truck. No big deal. So the other piece I did not mention is the chemicals. Now, I don't have a big chemical smell here right now. But when I was in the lobby checking in, I did see on their big TV screen, their promotional screen, that they're fogging all of the rooms with a hyper sanitized chemical solution or something. Obviously, that's not good. I understand their point. This is, 2022. They're worried about COVID, viruses, all the things. So in this little promo video, they had a shot of the housekeeping staff with this big gun-looking thing that was just shooting a chemical all over the rooms to sanitize it. I'm not a fan of that. That's a big chemical shitstorm. So I don't smell it in here, which is good. In a lot of places, I can just smell the cleaning supplies, which is outrageous, but still not great. I mean, still a night of getting exposed to crap I don't want to be. Now, if I was in my vehicle, I wouldn't have to worry about any of that. So that's it. That's why I am a huge proponent of sleeping in a vehicle that you outfit for that. Of course, there are safe ways to do that and not safe ways. That's a whole nother video. But hotels, Airbnbs, lodging kind of sucks. That's just the reality of what we have to deal with these days. Now, come prepared. Just some tips to come prepared. Binders. I'm taking binders because I was exposed to the mold. I have my shielding cloth, I have my glutathione, etc. And if you want to learn more about how to travel safely and what you can do in these situations, I've just developed a program called Fly Healthier to Feel Better. And it's all about traveling and what you can do, little tips like this that you can do to stay healthy while you're traveling. So I'll put a link to that below. And that's it, guys. So thanks for watching. And any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them below. I'm always happy to reach out and connect with you. Do all the things you're supposed to do, like the buttons and subscribe and all those things. Okay, and we will see you next time. Bye.